Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For our new and old subscribers, you're all welcome. So in today's tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to draft, cut and sew this surplice neckline, and it's a pleated surplice neckline, guys. So let's just jump into it. So guys, I'm going to be working with this basic bodice pattern. I do not need the neck side, that's why I didn't even bother drawing the neck. And my cardboard was not wide enough to contain my entire basic body, so that's why this side is wider than this side here. But I'm not even going to be needing much of that side, so I'm not worried. I'm going to be using some masking tape, my pattern master, and I have another brown paper here and some markers and a pair of scissors in case I need it. Then I'm going to be working with a pencil most of the time, because I'm going to be drafting just in case I need to clean something or erase something. Sorry guys. So what we are going to be doing now is to create a surplice neckline. So for us to create that, we are going to transfer our dart onto the back side of it. So what I'm going to do is to just make this point, this my apex, this my dart apex, which is also my bust point. I'm going to go ahead and bring it back onto the back side. So you can just go ahead and use a pin to just sort of puncture that point, but I'm not close to a pin right now, so I just did that with a pair of scissors. But do not use a pair of scissors, guys. Make sure you use a pin. So I'm just going to go ahead and transfer my dart to the other side. Then I'll go ahead and roll the dart back, right? So here we go. Now for our other dart on this side as well, I'll transfer the dart here. Now I'm going to transfer it up to the apex because we are going to be slashing and spreading that pattern. So once you talk about manipulating that, you know it has to do with slash and spreading of your pattern. Now let me just briefly explain what my pattern is. So on this side is my chest line, or where I want my new neckline to be, because it's an off-shoulder surplice neckline. So this is the point where I want my neckline. So on the main shoulder of the outfit, I came down by 5 inches. You can go down 6 inches if you wish, but make sure you don't come down too much, such that it doesn't give you as much coverage as you require. So for me, I could do 6 inches, but 5 inches is fine for me. Then I have my armhole line here, right? I labeled this as my chest line. I have my armhole line. Then I have my bust line here. Then this is my bust point, which is the apex of my dart. Then I have my under bust and my affluence measurement. Then I went ahead to make my regular dart, and I paid for the dart on this side. Then I have my bust dart, which I'm going to eventually close. So that's what I'm doing basically. So now I'm going to open, I'm just going to go ahead and open up this pattern like so. When I do that, I'll go ahead and extend our lines. I'll go ahead and extend all my lines. So I have all my lines extended like so. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is to bring out my surplice neck. So I'm going to be using this side because it's the fuller side, right? So what I'll do is from this, I'm going to put up the style that I want to do on that side. So this dart leg is the point where I want my neckline to begin with, and I want a lot of coverage. So I'm going to be connecting from this dart leg. I'll just go ahead and draw the way I want my surplice neckline to be. So I'll just go ahead. This is my chest line, right, which is also my neckline. So I'll just gently make a little sort of like a sweetheart neck on this point like so. Then I'll come down to meet this dart that I have here. So I'll just come down to that dart point like so. So you just want to create sort of like a sweetheart neck or a curved neck, like a sweetheart neck here. So now by the time we do that, I'm going to go ahead and create a dart on this side to tighten my neckline here. So I'll just extend this line upwards. I'll just go ahead and extend the line like so. Then on that point, I'll take 1 inch on both sides, just so it gives me sort of a curvy effect. So I'll pivot it to the bust side like so. So I sort of have like a nice curve around here. Now you're going to cut this piece and use for your lining, right? By the time you're done doing this. So I'll just go ahead and shape that side, guys. So I'll just sort of go in with my neckline a bit better. I'll just go in like so. This is why I said I wanted to work with a pencil at first. So you just go in like so and shape your neckline the way you want. So I'll go ahead and cut this out. So I'm not worried about this side because I don't need it that much. So I'm going to just cut out this side as I need. Now I'll keep this away and I'll work with just this point of it, right? So now what we are going to do is to transfer our dart, because when you look at the style again, I'm going to still put it up. The darts were pleated actually, and it was pivoted from this point, like it became slanted. They were no longer straight darts anymore. So that's what we want to do. First off, we are going to close off all of our darts. So I'll go ahead and open, and you know, to close one dart leg you have to open another. So I'll cut off one dart here, and I'll cut off one side like so as well. Any leg on the two darts you want to close, you can go ahead and do that. So I'll close this one. I'll just go ahead and close this one like so, which is the first one I'm going to be closing. Then I'll just go ahead and tape. I'll tape that down. Make sure you tape it nicely. So I'll tape this down. The next thing, I'm going to open this other dart. So I'll pick up any of the legs, then I'll slash, right? Then I'll close it off. Now this brings us to a wider side. The more you close, you open up this one here. So I'll go ahead and tape that one down as well. What you want to do is to create as much volume possible on this side. Now this is the only dart that is left open. I'll remove the dart leg totally. You can leave it, that's fine, but I don't need it. So I'll remove all the darts. So now we have this much dart here. Now what we want to do is we don't want this dart standing straight. We want to move the dart from here to like sort of go slanted, right? So that it will be slanted like this, just like you can see on the picture. So but by the time you close this dart, you're going to have a lot of room for the bust area to move into like so. You can see if we close it, we have a lot of bust space, like so, for my boobs to fit into it. So we're just going to go ahead and tape this side as well, so that we'll draw our dart lines the way we want. So I'll just go ahead and take this out, then I'll just sort of bring everything together. You have to be careful because it's a little bit, or before then, let's just make one dart so that it will ease some of these allowances here. So what we want to do is to get our dart to go like this. One dart moving from somewhere around the center front here, not exactly on the center front because this is the center front line, but somewhere from here up towards the shoulder side. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark towards the neckline, sorry. So I'm just going to go ahead and rule that point like so. Then I'll go ahead and slash it. Right now I'm just slashing that so that it will ease some of that point for me to pin, like so. So another one pivots like this to the bust side, towards the bust side. Sorry, let me just get that nice. So it went towards the shoulder as well. So I'll just go ahead and slash that point as well. Like so. Then I have enough room to close off this side. So I'll just go ahead and close off these darts. Now you have to be careful doing this. Sorry about this, guys. So I'll just go ahead and tape everything here nicely, right? Sorry, my tape just pulled off on me. Now I'll mark another one to go again towards the bust, but it's going to be in a slanted manner. So it's just going to be from here towards the bust, just to ease that tension around there. So I'll just slit it up to this point. You can see now the tension is properly eased. You can just bring it towards this dart here. Now at this point everything is lying nice and flat, right? So what you want to do is to bring a fresh pattern paper, which I have this brown paper here. So you're going to lay this on the fresh pattern paper. So guys, what I'm going to do now is to measure the darts in between them and spread them evenly. So from here I have, because don't forget we are going to be pleating the dart, so I have 2.5 inches in between this one. So I'm just going to go ahead and tape tape it down. Tape here down. Then I'll measure the 2.5 on this side as well. Then I'll tape down, and then I'll finally measure another 2.5 here. So I didn't cut this properly. I'll just cut it further. So measure another 2.5 and tape down. So by the time I tape this down, I'm just going to go ahead and cut out this pattern. Then I'll close my dart off, then I'll trim it out. So you're not going to cut exactly on your points. Brown paper aside, then I'll go ahead and close off my dart with a pleat. You know we are going to be pleating it, so I'll just be closing off all of my darts. Just close off this side, then I'll trim the excess that I have around there, just so I know what I'm doing. Leave that side open. It's just for this angle that is making me to close them. So I'll go ahead and close this one as well. Then I'll close the last one. You can make as many pleats as you want actually. So I'll close the last one. So here we go. This is what we have. So at this point you can go ahead and add your sewing allowances round your pattern. This is the point where you add your sewing allowances. Now what I'm going to do is to cut this on fabric, but then because one overlaps the other, I'm going to be cutting 2 panels out of these. So I'll go ahead and cut my fabric, then I'll show you. So guys, I've gone ahead to cut out my fabric, and I added hairstay or any interfacing of your choice because my fabric was lightweight, so I wanted it to sort of come up to book. So this is what we have at the moment. So it's going to be something like this, right? But before we pleat it, now I'm going to bring back my pattern on here. I also went ahead to add my sewing allowance by the side, so you can add any amount of sewing allowance you want. So what I'm going to do is try to see how I made the pattern. So I'll be pleating it accordingly. So I'll just grab this one and go like so. my fabric is this really nice silky material. And silks, I love how silks pleats, so that's why I'm using it. So I'll just notch the point where I'm going to be pleating. I'll make notches there. I'm just making notches on the areas where I'll be pleating. So here are my notches. I'll now match each notch together. Then I'll pin down. Pin down my notches. Now you decide which area you want it. I sort of feel like I want my pleat to go this side, so let me just reverse them. When I was pleating this on the fabric, I pleated it on the wrong direction, guys. So when you're pleating it, you decide the direction where you want your pleats to face before you cut them on your fabric. That's why we have this excess here. Before you cut it on your pattern. Remember, I made 3 pleats in total for each side. I made 3 pleats. So you just arrange your pleats towards the position where you want them. Then you can go ahead and iron these nicely, right? So I'll just So at this point, I'm done, and this is what the 2 panels look like. So I'll just overlap them like so. Now the point where you started picking that leg, you would find that point on your pattern, right? So you remember our pattern was something like this. So this is the point. You find that point. So this was the point where you picked that from. So you just sort of return this one to that point, so it will now overlap. So you can see now that this pointed out pieces we have here is that error that I told you when I was folding my dart on my pattern, that I folded my dart on the inside. I was supposed to fold it facing the direction that I wanted the pleat to, but I faced my dart on this side. But it's fine, you can just go ahead and trim them off. So I'm even glad that it happened this way. If it were to be the opposite direction, I won't be able to pleat it, to cut them off. So I would be forced to use it the way it is. So I'm even glad that it's this way. So this is what our pattern looks like now. Now I told you you're going to cut your lining piece or an interfacing piece exactly the way your pattern was before. That's you're doing your regular bodies of this same style before you slashed and spread. So if you'd want to bone the channels of that one, you go ahead and bone them. So if you do want to see how I used this piece on a fabric till the end, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, and turn on post notifications so that whenever I have a new video, you'll be the first to be notified. So hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, guys. So see you in my next video, guys. Bye.